All right, YouTube, what is happening? We've got a top 10 video today. This is one I've been willing to make for my own collection. So I'm not a big knife collector. I review a lot of knives. I have hands-on a lot of knives. I've probably handled hundreds of knives. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of knives over the last many years I've had my YouTube channel. But I kind of keep my own personal collection to a minimum, no more than 20 knives. The knife case I have, which is this one here, and I think it was a mass drop exclusive. It's by Vault. It's a Pelican case by Vault, but it has special like inserts. It's not like your standard ones. Like, see how those lay like that? And this top one's my favorite. So we're gonna go through my case today, but it holds 20 knives. So actually, hold on. I don't think it holds 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. It does hold 20. So it holds 20 knives, and that's kind of what I limit myself to. I don't go over that many. And for a lot of people, they have much bigger collections. But so what I'm doing today is just going through my top 10 as of May 20th, 2021. This is obviously subject to change. My top 10 knives in my collection. And I guess we'll go bottom up. I think that's fair. The top 7 are really easy because they're in my EDC rotation pretty much all the time. It doesn't really change much. Rarely does one of those knives get bumped out of that rotation. So we'll start at the back end. We'll kind of go into those. So I'm going to put in this knife here, and this is a newer knife for this year, as number 10. This is the Benchmade Mini Adamus. I am a big fan of this knife. I really like it. I think it's the best designed Benchmade has brought out in years, and it's kind of placed higher than my Bug Out as far as my Benchmade, go-to Benchmade, even though it's heavier and such, but I just put it through so much abuse. I was just so impressed with it. So it's my dedicated outdoor folder. That's why it falls in the top 10. If I'm gonna go hiking, do some sort of outdoor activity, camping, I'm gonna take this knife every time, no matter what. Along with a fixed blade probably, but this knife was very capable of doing a lot of tasks. So, Benchmade Mini Adamus, especially in this colorway with the OD green handle and the coyote brown blade. I just put a fresh edge on it. The crew wear is really nice on this, guys. I definitely recommend this knife. So, number 10 is the Benchmade Mini Adamus. I guess I'll put them up like this so we keep them on the frame there. That's actually kind of out of frame, isn't it? All right, this is gonna get too full probably doing that. Next up, number 10, number 9, I'm probably gonna go with the Quiet Carry Drift. This is a newer knife to me, but it checks a lot of boxes. It's completely rust, proof, or as much rust resistance as you're gonna get out of a knife. It fits a certain niche in my collection when I go to travel to go to the beach, it's pretty common actually. Out of state, I want to have a knife I can take to the beach with me and not have to worry about it rusting. Also like because it's lightweight and small. So there's also a water park I go to frequently that I live by that I tend to always carry a knife with me, just kind of what we do as knife guys, right? And this is my go-to for that. It's also a very good Sunday dress knife because it's lightweight and small. It's got a deep carry clip, discreet. It's got Vanex steel, titanium handles. The construction is really well done. Super good ergos, and the action is really nice on this guy. So yeah, number 9, Quiet Carry Drift. This is the latest version of that knife. All right, number 8. This is hard because out of 20, there's so many good options. And this one I went back and forth between 2 knives, but I decided on the Hinderer Fire Tack. Now, the other one I was gonna do was the Hinderer XM18 that I got from Rick Hinderer himself. And I think I like the Fire Tack model better. Obviously, that knife has more history and it's just, has a cool story behind it. And I've had it for a long time. But, the Fire Tack I just like better as a model overall. This is the new Triway one. It's got a custom micarta scale from RC Blade Works. It's just a fantastic size. It's nice, just great ergonomics, thin, pretty lightweight for a Hinderer. And it has a great action. This is on the washers, guys. This is not on the bearings, by the way. I swapped them out with the Triway pivot. So the Hinderer Fire Tack is number 8. All right. So the next ones are all going to be on this same, you know, the top case of my EDC rotation, I guess you'd say. I do rotate these knives in every once in a while, the ones you see on top, but this is really hard. This is where it actually gets difficult because there's so many good folders here, and some of them have kind of jumped ahead of others, you know. This is really hard. I'm going to go next up with the VERO AXON. This is one of my top knives of 2021 for sure. I would put it number 3 of this year, but overall, putting it at the number 7 spot. It's a fantastic size, good ergonomics. I love the blade shape. I love the action. It can be front flipped. It can be middle finger flicked. It can be opened with this. I mean, it's got so many deployment options, which is always a plus for me. And in-cut carbon fiber is beautiful on it. Good blade steel. M390, you know, it's got good ergos and it cuts well. It's a thin behind the edge knife. So is the Quiet Carry Drift. These two, actually the Adamus, mini Adamus is even more thin behind the edge than the FireTac. But the FireTac is definitely thinner behind the edge than my XM18. So, but the VERO AXON, just great action, great design, really good ergonomics. Just really enjoy using this knife, and it's light and I carry it often. So that's gonna get number 7. Number 6. Man, this is hard. I was watching Jake's Bearded Gears video doing this, and I'm like, man, I need to do that. But he had the same kind of thing. He's like, oh, where do I place certain knives in this ranking? You know, it's hard. I'm gonna have to go with, I'm gonna have to go with the Pair 3. I could, at one point, this was my number 1. This one in particular has a regrind by Micah Sontag knives. It's about 10 thousandths on the edge on the K390. It's a laser beam slicer. If I want to cut up a lot of cardboard, this is my go-to. Like, it just glides through that stuff, keeps a good edge. I added these Ghost, or this fat carbon, they're fat carbon scales. Arctic Storm, I think is what they are, maybe. Or something like that, from Riptech Garage. That's who did these ones. Riptech's Garage, and it has the Uncle Mike's clip, which are actually really hard to get. People are telling me. I still think it's the best Pair 3 clip. But the ergos on the Pair 3 are so good. This one has a lot of work done to it, so it's like pretty much what I would consider the ultimate Pair 3 in my opinion. And yeah, that one could be in the top 5 easy. It's just gonna get eked out by a couple new additions that have really kind of outplaced it. So, but for right now, that's number 7 or 6. Okay, going top 5 here. This is where it gets even more difficult. We have a newcomer. Some of these knives have been around a while. We do have a newcomer in here. I do know what my favorite knife is right now, for sure, but the rest are totally up in the air. It's really hard. It could be ranked anywhere from the next few knives. So I'm gonna go with the Arius, and I know that's gonna surprise people. Like, how is that not your favorite knife? I just got it. I've had it for like a week, and I almost sold it. I actually put it up for sale for trade. It's just a bigger knife. It's way bigger than I normally carry. If you've seen these other sizes, the FireTac, besides this, is the biggest knife in my collection. It's just a big knife. It's not something I usually carry, but you know what, guys? It is so good. Like, the Arius could easily be, I know it's a lot of people's favorite knives. If you watch Bearded Gear, this is his favorite knife. If you watch Kyle over at DTOM Knives, this is his favorite knife in his collection. It's a fantastic folder. It's just a little big for what I like, so that's why it's not number 1. But overall, like, build quality wise, action, ergonomics, it easily could be the top spot. Just not because of the size. Now, when the mini Arius comes out, hopefully soon at Blade Show, man, I'm all over that sucker. And because I saw the specs, if they do it by the specs, it's going to be a perfect size for me, and it's probably going to be my favorite. But this is super close, but if it was just a little smaller, it would be number 1. But for now, it's number 5. Koenig Arius. And that could change, because like I said, it's kind of new. These other ones I've had a while. And this top 4, again, the number 1 is no debate, but the other ones are super close. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the the Jaeger M is a fantastic knife. In fact, I could easily, the other knife that I'm going to put after this one could easily be swapped with this one. But the Jaeger M is my top 2 knife for 2021 behind the Evo 2. And this, if this was not a flipper model, if this was the non-flipper model, it might take over. And I need to send this in to get the flipper tab deleted, because I think it would be that much better to have that little flat area to grab onto. The ergonomics are fantastic for me. They work. It's a good size. The blade is so freaking awesome. Just, this is the Riot produced version. The first gens were this is Riot. Customized by Fanatic Edge. Again, if this was the micarta version, non-flipper, it might take the #1 spot. It's that good. But in this particular case, you know, it's still in the top 4, you know, for me. It's just a fantastic design. Really good size, great action, multiple deployment. You know, there is the advantage of having that flipper with multiple deployments. But the action is just phenomenal. It cuts well. It has a good edge geometry, good size, good ergos. Checks all the boxes. All these knives really do check all the boxes. All right, guys. Number 3. Yes, the Leon Ma EDC, Field Duty EDC. Jeez, I almost lost what it was called. The Field Duty EDC is, I made a video about this earlier. It's an underrated knife that a lot of, when you get one, you love it. But not a lot of people, I don't feel like it's sold as well as it could have, and pre-drama, we'll call it, even then. But, oh man, this thing is so freaking comfortable. It was made for my hand. It just melts in my hand. It's Strider-esque in a lot of ways, with the opening hole, the monoblock G10 design, titanium frame lock. It's just a fantastic, the pocket clip works great with that ball bearing thing that Leon Ma does. The LMAX steel, it's thin behind the edge. It's got a great action for middle finger flick. It's got a toilet choke up if you want. You don't have to, because it's got enough handle. It's fantastic. It's underrated, highly, highly underrated. Under $300 for one of these. Ridiculous. So one of the actually less expensive knives on this table right now, minus the mini Adamus. I think that's a pair of 3, but that's got a lot of money into it. But anyway, okay, so there's your top. We're down to the top 2. The top 2. This is hard, and I can't believe this is happening, but the SNG has been dethroned, guys. This is the super rare Mythosaur, Boba Fett, Mandalorian, whatever you want to call it. Prometheus Designs Works, Strider, SNG. You can see their logo here. You can see it says this is the way. There's very few of these out there in this configuration with the all blacked out. There was a green one that had a tiger stripe blade. This one is a little bit more rare. The SNG in general is like one of my all-time favorite knives, if not my all-time favorite knife. This was my #1 spot for a long time, not just because it's an SNG, obviously, but because of my love for Star Wars, particularly Boba Fett, Mandalorian, all that kind of stuff. My Star Wars nerd my whole life. And yeah, this knife checked not only that it's an SNG, which I love SNGs, but it's a Star Wars knife. And I was like, I get my favorite folder in a Star Wars knife? Yes, please. So yeah, I definitely overpaid money for that, but that's okay. It's super rare. I don't know how many are made, not very many. And that was my favorite knife for a long time, but it has been dethroned. So here we are, numero uno. Can you guys guess what it is? If you've been watching this video on my channel lately, you know what it is. It's the Evo 2 from Custom Knife Factory, Rotten Designs. I just got this version. I've had the full tie version for a while, and I got the carbon fiber in a trade. I traded my full tie for this with the dark, kind of black wash, the dark titanium, and the carbon fiber show scale. Lightens it up just enough that it's like even better ergonomics, even better action on this one. I'd say the action's actually the same. The detent on this one's a little better. It's a little stronger, which makes good for middle finger flicking. And the extra weight saved from the carbon fiber scale is just amazing. It's got that shred carbon fiber. Look at that action, ridiculous. It's one thing, it's very Strider-esque, and I covered that in my video on it. And if you look at the SNG in this, you have a lot of design similarities, right? Same with, and it's funny that the Leon Ma Field EDC is another one that has a lot of design features. So obviously I love that kind of design. But this takes it to a new level because it gives it that drop shut action that's ridiculous. It gives it that sick grind, hollow grind. It's super thin behind the edge, cuts really well. Great ergos back here. I can choke up if I want to. It's my knife of the year, and it's now my favorite knife. It even overtook the SNG. And that's saying a lot, guys, if you know me. So that's my top 10, guys, current knives in my collection. Now, I will say, this could change pretty quick because there's one knife I got in today that could dethrone something here, and that's this. The Jerry McGinnis Spoke. This is the Proline Spoke. It's one of his mid-techs. I just got it in today. They're pretty hard to find. It checks a lot of boxes. It's a good size. It's got the opening hole deployment, nice action, super ergonomic. This could easily bump any of these knives out of the top 10, easily. I almost included it, but I just got it today. So I'm like, come on, that's a little hasty. So this one could very well dethrone. I'm gonna do a video on this soon, but I just got it today. But all right, guys, that's my top 10. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your top 10 in your collection. If you're at a YouTube channel, make a response video. I'd love to see Lefty EDC. I don't know if you've done one in a while. Kyle, DTO Knives and Gear, Grady's Gear. Jake just did his. I'd love to see a reply if you got a YouTube channel. And if not, you can leave them down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.